Welcome to Technology with Mike. This show is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network at techpodcast.com. If it's tech, it's here. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook at audiblepodcast.com/techwithmike. Over 70,000 titles to choose from for your iPod or MP3 player. Visit audiblepodcast.com/techwithmike for your free book today. And now for your host, Mike Tartaglia. It's time for Technology with Mike. From Central Massachusetts, I'm Mike Tartaglia. Welcome to the show. I'm here to make technology and the internet easier to understand. This is show number 73, recorded on Saturday, August 21st, 2010. Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening to the show and downloading it each and every week. I really do appreciate it. You can contact the show directly at the email address techwithmike@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/techwithmike. On Chumley, the social media super site, at chumley.com/techwithmike. And visit our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/techwithmike. You can subscribe to the show via iTunes. We have it in both video and audio format. So if you go there, please go to iTunes and rate and give your review of the show. It's always interesting to see what people write over there. So that'd be great. Go give it a review. Actually, I don't think there's any reviews on that particular one. There used to be, but I changed it. You can see past shows, past videos, either go to techwithmike.com or techwithmike.mevio.com, where we have our videos. And one last thing is you can contact us on a voicemail box. It's a brand new voicemail box. It's the number is 508-372-0123. It's 508-372-0123. I only do that because I've been watching America's Got Talent. They always do that when they want to vote. For people on the audio, I'm putting my fingers up. I'm counting 1, 2, 3 on the phone number. So, anyways, call that number. You can leave your comments for the show, suggestions for show topics. I always like to get those in. If you have a tech tip and you want me to share it online or on the show, I will do that. I can either play the voicemail or I can just talk. You can give me the idea for the tip, and I can do it. So thank you. So call that number. Today we have a guest he is the author of Evernote Essentials, a new book. His name is Brett Kelly. Hi, Brett. How you doing?
Good, Mike. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you very much for coming on the show. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
So this is very interesting to have you on. Before we start, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Okay. I am a software developer / writer. I live in Southern California with my really hot wife and 2 kids. And
She's watching, isn't she?
No, she's actually not even here. I'm totally not being put up to saying that. And I have a blog, and I've got a Twitter and all that other stuff. But, yeah, so I wrote that Evernote book, and now I work for Evernote.
Well, how did that happen?
It's kind of funny. So around, let's see, what was it? It was around February of this year. I had the idea to write the book because I was looking for something like it, and I couldn't find anything. So I emailed the general marketing contact email because I was curious whether or not I was going to be able to use like the Evernote name or like the elephant logo. Legally, what could I do with that if I wanted to write a thing and sell it myself? And Andrew, the marketing guy, he asked me, he's like, hey, can we talk on the phone? I said, well, okay, sure. And he's like, we're really excited about this. We really, we've wanted this for a long time, but we haven't had the bandwidth to take it on ourselves. So we really want to help you, promote it and put it together. So that was really cool. So over the next maybe 3 or 4 months, I wrote it really quickly, and then I sort of got busy with other stuff. But I edited it, put it together, and I got what I felt was a really workable first draft of the book. And so I sent it to Andrew again, and we talked about it a little bit. They really liked it. And then Phil, who I know you've had on before, the CEO,
yep,
he read it and liked it. So he asked if we could speak on the phone. I said, okay, that sounds good. And we talked about the book and promotions and stuff. And then he asked me like what I did for a living, and I said that I was a programmer. And he said, well, do you want to work for Evernote?
How convenient.
I said, well, yeah, absolutely. That sounds like I've always sort of quietly dreamed of that.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, that sounds awesome. So then, like, the next week I spoke to Dave, the CTO, and we worked out like what my job would be. And so, yeah, it happened really quickly. But yeah, so they made me an offer, and I couldn't refuse it.
Well, congratulations on that. That must be really cool.
Oh, it's amazing. Thank you.
Well, so the book. Who basically would benefit from the book? Obviously, they should be an Evernote user. But why do you think, in your opinion, would someone need to read this book?
I think that Evernote is extremely powerful, but it's also extremely versatile. And the first time, so if your buddy mentions it and you download it and fire it up, like you look at it and I think you kind of know kind of what it does. It doesn't take long to figure out what it does, I don't think, but like to be really like efficient with it and good at it and know like how things should live in it and how they should be organized, things like that. I think that's the hard part to figure out, is how to use it right.
That took me a while when I first started using it. It took me a while to figure out, I didn't really know what to do with the tags or anything like that. But yeah, you're right. You got a good point there.
So I think my primary audience for this is be like people who have either used Evernote for a while but don't feel like they're really like getting the most out of it, or brand new users who really want to go from, not knowing anything to using it well in a relatively short period of time without having to like go through and make all the mistakes.
Yeah, like I've already done.
Me too.
But I mean, it's not the software's fault. It's not Evernote's fault. It's the how to organize yourself with notes. That's really what you got to get used to. And I think I've got it down to a science now. I mean, I use tags like crazy. But I think I've got it down pretty good where I'm comfortable. But I'm actually gonna pick up your book. I haven't yet. I meant to, but I just haven't had time. I want to pick up your book and get some more ideas from it, and maybe use some of your ideas on the show.
That'd be cool.
Maybe I could twist them around a little bit. I like to see. I always get a bunch of ideas, and a lot of ideas that I talk about on the show or with other people, I get them from others. It's not something I come up with, and I don't take credit for them at all. But so what kind of information is in the book? Is it just basic Evernote usage, or is there more advanced features like we just talked about?
I think it definitely covers the basics, like installing it, what all the configuration options mean, all that stuff. But I think there is some more advanced stuff, particularly regarding search. Because I think the search feature in Evernote is one of the more, well, not difficult, but one of the more unsung features of the application, because the search is extremely powerful, and I don't think that's obvious when you use it. And it's sort of like Google in that, like, most people when they use Google, they just go to google.com, type in a few words that they want to know about, and hit go. But there's a bunch of different operators you can use. There's a lot of ways to control how your search works and what results you see. And I think Evernote offers very similar capabilities in that way. So I think that's probably the most like geeky way to see the book, is like it really will dig you into search, and there's other stuff like how to organize notebooks and tags and a bunch of different possible use cases for every sort of, because it's not just for, I mean, I'm a programmer and I use it to keep a lot of code stuff, but like it's just as useful for somebody like grandma who keeps a lot of recipes, or Joe Blogger who keeps blog information and posts and advertising agreements and stuff like that. Like, I think it's such, like I said before, it's a very versatile application, and if you can get a little bit of guidance as to how to, like, okay, well, how can I use this for my work or my personal life or whatever, like, I think it can be useful for, I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people. And I think that's what I'm trying to sort of sell people on, is like, if you are if you're a nurse or a soccer mom or anybody, you don't have to be a code monkey. Like, you can
Yeah.
find a useful way to use Evernote.
If you know how to use a computer, in my opinion, I sort of almost disagree with you, but I think everyone can use this. But I'm not gonna, you know, I've already said that enough. I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said, you want to fight?
You wanna fight? I can see where you and Phil can probably really click together because you both have the same sense of humor.
Indeed, we do.
So, can you give us like an example of something that's in your book on where a lot of people have found useful?
I think that one thing that I've got the most emails about is sort of how to organize the different, because you can create multiple notebooks.
Yeah.
And I think you start out with one, which is just like your name's notebook.
Yeah.
And like the sort of the best practices for organizing your notes in different notebooks. And I think the way that I do it, which a lot of people have, I think, found useful, is you have like your inbox, which is sort of like your email inbox, but all of your new notes show up in there.
Yeah.
And cause I think a lot of times if you want to add things to Evernote, but you want to be able to find them later, like you need to sort of like massage the data that's in there, like get rid of extra cruft you don't want, add tags, change the title, things like that.
Yeah.
And then from that point, you can either ship it off to, I have a general archive called Notes. It's one notebook that holds everything that's not related to a current project for me. So if, like my son, we got him a bicycle helmet, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And like, I don't need that forever, but tag it the right way, change the title so I can find it later and shove it in Notes. But if I'm looking at a comp for a website I'm working on, that would go in, Joe's website notebook. So I think I've actually gotten a lot of email about that one organizational tip, is just how to use notebooks effectively.
Okay. Yep. That's that was confusing for me at first, where I didn't know. What should I do? Should I do different notebooks for different projects, or? But I started doing that. It didn't work out, so I started using tags for projects. And but you're right. Organizing the notebooks, that's probably the first thing you need to learn about it.
Yeah.
How you want to use the notebooks feature. That's cool. So the book is about, what is it, a little bit over 80 pages, right?
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to write? Just curious.
Oh, man. I think I wrote the first draft in about, I want to say 50 hours over the course of like 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, after that, like that was probably 90% of the work, and after that was a lot of editing.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of really friends who were way smarter than me reading it and sort of making sure that it sounded right and that it was accurate technically and all this stuff. But from idea to first draft was probably a couple weeks of long days of writing.
Wow.
And then probably 2 or 3 months of back and forth with friends and other geniuses in English that could make sure I was, making a good product.
Wow, that's cool. So, is it strictly just an ebook, or are there plans for a hardcover?
Currently it is only an ebook.
Okay.
I've thought about doing like the on-demand printing thing, like Lulu.com,
Yeah.
where you can actually buy a actual physical book of it.
We call that the tree killer. I think Leo
Yeah,
Laporte.
the tree killer.
Leo Laporte coined that phrase.
No, that's. I've thought about doing that, but I think the main reason why I might not is because, Evernote is being so actively developed that I don't want people to end up with, a book on their coffee table that's out of date 2 weeks after they get it.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing about these kind of books. You're right. If you have a paper book, and even if you update it, if you give updates, I think you give updates for 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if you update, people can end up with 12 books,
right,
within that 6 months.
Yeah, and the paper stuff isn't cheap. So I wanted to make sure the value proposition was sort of in line.
Yeah, keep the cost down for the buyers. That's actually good. I don't mind ebooks. I'll just put it on my iPad and I'll read it from there.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
So how much is the book?
The book is $25.
That's not bad. I've seen people whining about this price online.
I have too.
And I've never written a book, and I don't know if I ever will, because I've heard how crazy it can be. But there's a lot of work involved, and this is coming from me. This isn't coming from Brett. This isn't coming from Evernote at all. I'm just saying, people, stop your whining. It's $25 isn't a lot of money for this kind of book, and I'm gonna buy it, and I don't understand. It's DRM free, so there's no copy protection. It's a PDF format, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, $25 is not a big deal. I don't understand why people are whining. It took Brett a long time. It took 50 hours straight to write this book. Come on.
Well, I think I might have an idea why, because I was actually talking to my wife about this last night.
Okay. That's my little rant for today, by the way.
Well done. I think that because the word book is used,
yeah,
and because people think book, they think, well, I walk into Borders or Barnes and Noble and I can buy a paperback book that's way longer than the one that I wrote for like $8-10, and it's a different, I think, idea, because while they're both technically like collections of words, like I think mine is like a pretty focused like information product, whereas Jane Eyre has like a much more widespread appeal. And I think it's all about how much value do you perceive as getting out of the ebook that you buy, even if it's not mine. Like I think of it like, well, if you read my book and it really, really helps you use Evernote way better, and let's say you make $10 an hour doing your job, whatever your job is, like if you can make up 2.5 hours of your time, then okay, well then I think I've like fulfilled that agreement.
Yeah.
People have definitely complained that the price is too high, and I understand. Like it's not a trivial amount of money to spend on a PDF. Like I definitely get that, but at the same time, like I've gotten a lot, hundreds of emails from people who have really, really been happy with what they've learned from the book. So
you're being too nice. Stop it.
No.
No, that's cool. That's a good way of looking at it. I like that. So where can people find it?
If you go to my weblog, which is nerdgap.com, nerdgap.com.
Yeah.
There's a link at the very top you can visit.
Okay. Hold on. I'm going there right now. I'm going there right now. And see Evernote Essentials, and I'm going to start the buying process, because I am going to buy it, because I'm going to put that on my iPad. Matter of fact, I'll even put it in Evernote.
Yeah, it works there too, and you can search it in Evernote. Which is cool.
Yeah. Okay, well, Brett, thank you very much for coming on the show. I really do appreciate it.
Mike, my pleasure, man. Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and tell everybody I said hi over there.
Yeah, sure will.
Okay, Brett, take care.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was really interesting. So Brett Kelly, author, I'm going to call him Arthur, author of Evernote Essentials. Go pick it up at nerdgap.com. Click on the Evernote Essentials book. I'll link up at the top. And go buy it. $25 is not a lot of money for a book, especially for a software package that is free. I mean, come on. But people are going to be mad at me. So audible.com is our sponsor. Audible.com, the leading provider of downloadable digital audiobooks and spoken word entertainment. I think they have over 75,000 titles to choose from now, from every genre. The book I'm going to be listening to soon is a book by David Kirkpatrick called The Facebook Effect, the inside story of the company that is connecting the world. So pretty much what that book's about is how Facebook became Facebook. I mean, it started off in a college dorm, and it just grew exponentially. I think they have over half a billion users? Is it? I think it's 500 million or something like that. It's crazy numbers. But it started off as I believe it at Harvard Law School, or Harvard School of Business, where they just started off as a simple website for college students. And it grew this big. So the Facebook Effect, the inside story of the company that is connecting the world, can be yours for free if you go to audiblepodcast.com/techwithmike. Go there, get it for free. If you get a free trial, If I think it's a 2-week trial. If you decide not to stay with Audible, you get to keep that free book. So go audiblepodcast.com/techwithmike. Okay, so I have a couple of tips for Evernote since we had Brett on. A couple of new things that their latest versions have is one's called the Trunk, and it sort of sounds funny, but what it does, pretty much Evernote has partnered up with a bunch of great companies, that develop software that integrates somehow, or software or hardware that integrates somehow into Evernote. And what the Trunk does, the link it's a button in Evernote, right next to the sync button, I believe. The Trunk will help you find applications, hardware, or even pre-configured notebooks that can make your experience in Evernote even cooler. So go try it out. They give you ideas for hardware, different scanners that'll automatically go into Evernote, different websites that are configured with Evernote. So go check it out, evernote.com. Download the software. You know the drill. I've said it so many times. And then the other feature I want to talk about, we're running short of time, so I'm trying to make this a little quicker, is a feature called multi-note tagging, or I call it that. I guess I don't know if that's what they call it. But what that does, it allows you to highlight multiple notes in your on a Evernote page, and then drag a specific tag, you right-click on all the notes that you highlighted, go to tag, and you can choose multiple tags for all those notes. So instead of having to open up each note, adding a tag, doing all the stuff like you used to do, this makes it really easy. And this is how you do it. And I sort of almost said it, but you highlight multiple documents, like I said, hold the control key down on a PC. And I think on a Mac, it might be a little different. Maybe the command key. I don't have a Mac, so I'm not sure. Whoops. And then you select each note by holding down the control key. When you have all the notes selected, right-click, select tag, and choose all the tags and click OK. It couldn't be any simpler. So multi-note tagging, yeah. And then I'm going to end the show with a new app that I've downloaded. I don't know if it's new, but it's new to me. And I've used on my iPad and my iPhone and on the website. It's made by a company from pageonce.com. Pageonce.com. It's an app called Personal Finance. And now a lot of people are going to be like, shiver or be scared of this, but I think there's nothing really to worry about. So the Personal Finance, what it does, it allows you to put all your, this is where people get scared, all your banking accounts, all your utilities that you pay for your house, all your investment companies, your social networks, your a lot of stuff here. I got it right here. I don't want to bring it up right now, but anyways, it puts it all into one application. So now he's saying, why would I want to do that? Well, it keeps it so you don't have to go logging into all these sites each month, checking your bills, all this stuff. What it does, it puts your bills right in this one application. If you got a bill that's going to be due in, say, I don't know, a week or something, or 2 weeks, I'm not sure what the actual threshold is. But what it will do is it'll pop up a little thing on your iPhone and your iPad saying, you got a bill for this credit card coming up. You better go pay it. It's a great reminder. Lately, I've been slacking off with bills paying to my cable company, and I'm just getting sick of the late fees. So I have them in here. It will remind me now to pay the bills. So I don't like to depend on the mail, the snail mail, because I don't always get the mail. Sorry to say, I just don't always get them. This will tell me every time there's a bill due. I go pay it. I'll never be late again. So it's called Personal Finance from pageonce.com. Go check it out. They're not a sponsor, but I'm using it, and so that should say something. Okay, well, that's all I have for today. I really do appreciate everybody calling in, or not calling in, but listening in. Remember, you can call us at 508-372-0123 just leave us a voicemail for show topic suggestions or whatever. If you just want to say, hi, Mike, go ahead. I can't really reply to voicemails, but I will reply to emails from techwithmike@gmail.com within 48 hours, of course. That's my disclaimer. Until next time, help you later.